Hi guys, this is Veronica and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful Cinderella cake. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with our cake. So this is a vanilla cake that I did bake already ahead of time. And I baked it in this pan here. And this is a doll cake pan, which is made by Wilton. So here I'm just putting some buttercream frosting onto my cake board. Okay, so next I'm just going to go ahead and cut this in half. I'm going to be filling it with buttercream. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and just cut out a circle. We're just making room for when we put the doll in the cake. And so next I'm just applying some buttercream frosting. And as you can see, there's some red inside my vanilla cake. That's because I added some red sprinkles, but that's all it is. And I will put the recipe in the description box below for my buttercream frosting and for my vanilla cake. So we're going to do the same here for the top layer. We're going to cut out a circle as well. Okay, so once you're done cutting out that circle, go ahead and put them together. And just make sure that you reserve the scraps from the circles that we cut out. We're going to need those for later. So here I'm just going to go ahead and crumb coat my entire cake. So that's just a thin layer of icing that's going to lock in all the crumbs. And then after you're done doing this step, go ahead and smooth it out as best as you can and put it in your fridge for 15 minutes to set. So once it's been chilled for 15 minutes, then we can go ahead and apply our final icing. And this is going to be a little bit thicker than the first one we put on. So go ahead and just go all the way around with this. Okay, so once you're done frosting your entire cake, then go ahead and smooth it out. And like I'm doing here, I actually am using some cardstock to help me smooth it out, but you can use, whatever you have on hand. If you have a spatula that you want to use, that's fine. I just want to make it really smooth so it doesn't show through the fondant when I put it over. Okay, once you're done smoothing it as best as you can, we'll continue on with the next step. So these are the scraps from the cake from the center that we took out. So what I'm going to do is mix it with some buttercream. And this is almost going to be, or this is going to be similar to making cake pops. But I'm actually going to use this for something different. You'll see in just a moment here. So what you want to see is a dough-like consistency. So something like this. So here I'm going to go ahead and grab Cinderella and I'm going to go ahead and wrap her in plastic wrap, or the bottom part of her, so that when we go to insert it in the cake, she doesn't get dirty. And so we're going to go ahead and insert her into the cake. And as you can see, there's a big space there between her hips and the cake. So this is why I made this cake pop mixture. So we're going to go ahead and put that around her. So just go ahead and fill in the spaces there. So once you're happy with it, then we're going to go ahead and apply some buttercream icing all around her on the bottom part there where we have the extra cake. So we're just evening that out with the cake on the bottom. Right, so once you're happy with it, then go ahead and smooth it out. And like I said again here, I'm using some cardstock. And so after you're done with this step, go ahead and put her in the fridge for 20 minutes to set. So here I have some white fondant. So I'm just using some shortening just so that it doesn't stick to the surface. And I'm just gonna go ahead and knead it until it softens up a little bit for me to make it easier to work with. And so next I'm going to go ahead and roll out my fondant as thin as I can. Okay, so once you're done rolling it out, I'm going to grab here a circle cutter, and this is a 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out as many circles as I can. And with the scraps that are left, I'm going to go ahead and roll it out again and cut more circles. And so what we're going to do with the circles is you're going to fold it in half, and then you're just going to scrunch it up just like I'm doing here. We're going to do this to all our circles. So once you do that, then we're going to go ahead and roll out a long piece of fondant, just like I did here. So here I'm just cutting off the rough edges there. And I'm just going to cut 2 long strips. So once you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and apply these onto the cake. So starting in the back, go ahead and put that on there, and then we're bending or folding it as we go. And we're going to finish this all the way around. Okay, so next, what I'm doing here with toothpicks is I'm going to go ahead and mark the area where I'm going to put those circles that we cut out. So this is about where I want it, in the center there. And we're just going to go ahead and start applying those and just staying within those lines. Alright, so this is what that area should look like once you're done. And then let's move on to the next step. So here I have this blue fondant that I'm going to go ahead and roll out. Right, so once you're done rolling out your fondant, here what I'm doing is just measuring from the top of the dress to the bottom where the ruffles meet, and that's 7 inches. And here I was just checking to see if this pan would be enough to cut out the circle with, but it's not. So what I'm doing here is just putting my tape measure in the center, starting at the center, and then working my way around and marking where 7 inches is, and you're doing this all the way around. So once I did that, now I'm going to go ahead and just follow those lines that I made and go all the way around in a circle. And then here I'm just cutting a slit, starting in the center and going outwards. Now carefully go ahead and lift it and then wrap it on the cake. And as you're doing this, go ahead and make those ruffles on the dress. And here, as you can see, I'm using my fingers to help me create those ruffles. the parts of the fondant were not long enough. So what I'm doing here is just kind of pulling at it a little bit, making sure not to rip it. Now we're going to go ahead and trim off that excess fondant. And just do the same with the other side. And just go ahead and keep working with the ruffles until you're happy with it. Alright, so for the next step is go ahead and roll out again some more fondant. And here I'm going to use that cake pan that we used for the cake and cut out a circle with that. And then for this one, I'm going to cut all the way through. So we're just cutting out 2 circles, and all I'm doing is bending it on one side and then flipping it over and bending it on the other side. So creating these ruffles. So bend it like this and then flip it to the other side and bend it on the back side and then the front side. And then the back side again and then the front side. And then you're going to get this. Right, I'm going to go ahead and apply these onto the cake. And you can use some water if it's not sticking well. So mine was a little bit shorter on one side, so I just kind of flatten it out a little bit or stretch it out a little bit on the top. And then that back part, we're gonna do something else to cover that up. Okay, so here I have some of this lighter blue fondant. We're going to go ahead and roll this out. And so here I'm just going to use a bowl to cut out the circle. Just go ahead and using your pen blade, or your knife, go ahead and cut a circle. And then we're going to go ahead and cut this circle in half. And I'm just going to be applying this to the top part there of the dress. And I'm making ruffles as I go along. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. So using that same light blue colored fondant, we're going to go ahead and roll it into a log. And using my pen blade, I'm going to go ahead and cut some off. And this is going to go on the top part of the dress there. We're going to wrap that around. And just go ahead and cut off any excess. And here I'm using this tool just to make some lines on there. You can also use a toothpick if you don't have this tool. Right, so next we're going to go ahead and roll out some more of that light blue fondant, and with this we're going to make a bow. So there I'm just cutting that in half, and then I'm going to cut this in half again. And then to make the bow, what we're going to need is to fold those in half just like I'm doing here, and just scrunch up the bottom, and then the same for the other one. And then just put those together. And then go ahead and grab one of those strips and just cut a piece off, and we're going to wrap that to attach the two bows together, or the bow together. And then this one here, again, cut that in half. And then we're just going to cut the bottom ends there on an angle. And here I am going to use some water to attach the bow onto the dress. And so next I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these edible beads. These are silver beads. So here I'm just marking where I'm going to put the beads. And just using some water so I can help attach them on there. Okay, we just have one more step to do and then we're done. So next step, we're going to go ahead and apply this edible glitter to our dress, and this is made by Wilton. So this is just sprayed on, which makes it a lot easier, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and spray this all the way around. Alright everyone, so this is how the cake turned out. I really love the way the dress looks. I love the way it sparkles with the edible glitter. I really love this dress. It turned out so beautiful. If you guys like it, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I want to thank all of you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.